Hey guys, Emily Muchanti here. Thanks for visiting my channel. If you are new here, I help to support educators and reading interventionists who are looking to improve their outcomes in their Tier 2 and Tier 3 reading intervention programs. And today what I have for you it's a little bit of a hybrid type of a video. I want to talk to you about some of my reflections from the Big Sky Literacy Summit because as always, I walk away from that just my heart completely full, my head completely full, and it takes me a while to process everything and decide how I want to present that to you. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today. But I'm hoping by the end of this video, you are going to find some reasoning or some encouragement and courage in actually taking some action in your own school. So stick around for that. But first, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, and share. Leave me a comment. I love to get to know you guys. Don't forget, you can always email me, readingdiva06@gmail.com. And down below in the show notes, just so you know, there's going to be a whole bunch of links that will take you to different things, either that I am talking about or information from my website, emilymuchanti.com, my intervention course that you could look into, or joining my newsletter list. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to be referring to my notes because, as always, there's so much that happens up at Big Sky that I don't want to forget anything. And this is really going to be probably another two-parter because I don't think I can do it all today. So this was my second year visiting the Big Sky Literacy Summit, which is coordinated and put on by Dr. Danielle Thompson, Dr. Nell, who is amazing. Her team is amazing. And this conference continues to be my favorite of all time. This is 2 years running. I try to get to a number of different conferences over the year, and this one is going to be the one I go to every year, no matter what. And so this session or this conference's theme was loving and leading large in literacy. And so there were a lot of things going on here. Day one was really deep about leadership. In fact, we had John C. Maxwell as our keynote, and I was able to be in on the lunch session with him also, and it was just absolutely amazing. I'm going to talk a little bit more about him. The other part of the session was really a lot of themes around oral language, which if you've seen the last couple of videos that I've done since I've returned, I've dropped some information, some resources there for you to help you in that area. But this one is really going to be about the leadership aspect of the conference. And I just have to say, I'm always so inspired by the speakers, by the attendees, by the publishers and the people that are there sharing what they're doing, the organizations, the nonprofits. It's such a beautiful group of people. It's in a beautiful location. If you ever have the chance to go to Big Sky, Montana, oh my gosh, most beautiful place in the world that I've been to so far. So I have to start with Dr. Nell. Dr. Nell is such an inspiring speaker and individual, and you can tell she just leads with her heart. And I think that's truly where the theme comes from, loving and leading large in literacy, because that really is who she is. And so by, just by being near her, you become inspired by this. And she talks about there are a couple of quotes that I want to share with you. She said that we must be urgent in the moment and patient in the results. We have a literacy problem. We know that. The nation has a literacy problem, and we have got to attack this with urgency. And those of you that watch me frequently, I know that you are there in the trenches. And part of what we have to do to really be urgent in our cause is to step into the role as leaders. And that's not always comfortable, especially when you're fairly new in this area. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then she said something. She said, because you can, you must. Man, talk about call to action, right? We can do this work and therefore we must, because in some cases we are the only people that can do this work, and we are the only people that can reach some kids. So the need for knowing and growing in what we do and sharing what we do is really, really important. So I want to give a shout out to some of the amazing speakers that were there to inspire us with their stories. They have been going through the John Maxwell Leadership Program, Jeannie Schampf, Donnie Hill, and Dr. Terry Noland, Teresa Owens. There were just some amazing speakers. Terry Noland said, "We have a leadership crisis in education." And wow, if nothing, we can't be any closer to the mark than that. We really have to work on our leadership. And that doesn't just mean those that are our principals or they have the admin credential. That means all of us in the position to be leaders. And so John Maxwell was our keynote. And if you're not familiar with John Maxwell, honestly, I wasn't until about a year ago. And he is the leadership guru. He's all about communication, about building people up and valuing people in order to lead. And I'm now on my third book by John Maxwell. By the way, he's written 90 books. Yes. And the first book that I read by him was the 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication. Let's see if you can see that. And this is what introduced me to his work and about how we communicate. After Big Sky, I listened to the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership on my 6-hour drive home back to Boise. And now I'm reading High Road to Leadership, and I'm involved in a book group with that one. Oops, knocked my cup over. So I'm learning about this man and all that he has to share and talk about important work that he is doing by building us up. And he said, you were created to make a difference. You were created to make a difference. And in his 21 laws, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, he has obviously 21 amazing laws. I want to talk about 2 of them and how they specifically apply to those of us in intervention and what this means. And he talked about these 2 in his session. The first is something called the law of the lid. The law of the lid. And what he says with the law of the lid is that the lid is the leadership max. So let's say we're measuring our leadership ability on a 1 to 10. Our organization's leadership on a 1 to 10, whatever it may be. And that leader is at a 5. The law of the lid says that we will never get any higher than a 5 because we need that leader to lift us up. If our leaders are at a 7, then the organization can rise up to that 7. We can never go beyond the law of the lid. So what's important is that as leaders, we learn and grow in leadership ability and our knowledge and all of that in order to lift the organization up. Our organizations are our schools. So it's imperative our schools and district leaders have this really amazing lid level, right? We want them at that 9, 10 level. Now that's pretty hard to get to. But if we have that, we can raise everybody up. Now, if you're a classroom teacher, you are the leader of your classroom. So if your leadership ability is a 5, your students are never going to be higher than that. So again, no matter what capacity you are in that leadership, whether you're leading your family, you're leading your classroom, you're leading your school or a district, we have to look at that leadership as a way of raising that leadership capability and strength so that the rest of the organization can come up. The other law I want to speak to you about is the law of process. The process that we go through is to become leaders is crucial. Leaders develop daily. And what John Maxwell said is that sometimes we overestimate the event and we underestimate the process. And this one really struck me because I know those of you that are in intervention, my new intervention teachers, those of you that I connect with in that capacity, you may have been hired as, okay, we need an interventionist. Check. There's the event, right? Got it. Event done. But the process of developing that person, providing that person with the support, the resources, we are overestimating the event. So we've got our interventionist, but we're underestimating the process in order to support that person, develop that program, whatever that may be. And I think that's really important here. We have to understand that process of developing our programs, our knowledge, all of those things are so much more important than just the position or just the title. So the law of process, and we will be developing daily for this. Now, he also said, this is what John said, if you're going to get better, you have to have a plan for personal growth. Okay, so this was a huge call to action for me. I'm sitting there in Big Sky. I'm all, you get kind of teary-eyed and your emotional heartstrings are going because there's so many amazing people, so many amazing stories. And I'm not in the classroom anymore. What I'm doing is supporting you with courses, with coaching, with consulting, with these videos, with the different things that I do. And I thought, okay, I need a personal plan. And so I did two things I want to share with you that I'm really excited about in order to help myself, to grow myself. This is my personal plan. As a result of going to Big Sky Literacy Summit, I've now joined the John Maxwell Leadership Certification Program. Super excited about it. I'm going through it. I'm going through their coaching strand right now. I'm learning so much. And I thought, if I'm going to find a way to lead, because I'm still leading, it's just in a different capacity in this virtual little space, but I need to have a way to grow personally. And that was something that I did for me. It was an investment, but it was something that I hope as I learn and grow, I can help you raise your lid so that you can then in turn grow and grow those around you. And the second thing I did was I joined Dr. Nell's Transformative Reading Teacher Group because this is 2 years now. This woman inspires me to no end, and all of her colleagues inspire me. And she's becoming such an amazing mentor that is now a group, and I'm going to drop the link in the chat. It's another way for you to grow. The Transformative Reading Teacher. So I'm always a part of the Reading Science Academy, but now this is another way. We have to continue to learn and grow so that we can serve others. And the goal is, as I serve you, you in turn serve your schools, serve your students, because it's always about the kids, right? We want to make sure that we are doing what we can to support our kids. So my goal really is to remind you that you are the only person for some people. There are some kids that you are the only one. And I also want to remind you that leadership is not just a title. It is not a positional leader. You know, just because you've got the title of principal or vice principal, that doesn't mean you're a leader. I've been really fortunate. I've had some amazing leaders in my career, but I've also had some that weren't so great. And so the title isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the capacity for leading, because it's really about influencing others. And we want to influence others so that we can help to grow those kids. So, how do you do this? This is not easy for some of you, I know, but you have to embrace your imperfection, and you have to lead with authenticity and vulnerability. And, you know, you hear me here making mistakes. My cup fell. It's like this. My dog might come over here and do something he shouldn't do. But this is what we do. We try to connect with others so that we can be in this work together. Start small, but get out there, seek those opportunities to grow and to connect and to network. And as always, I invite you to join me at one of our monthly Q&As. If you're on my newsletter, my email list, you will be receiving email announcements about that. I invite you to join my course, the Reading Intervention Framework, which will help you develop a strategic plan for your Tier 2, Tier 3 intervention programs, because we have to learn and grow together. And so that is my first wave of Big Sky, you know, reflections. Thank you to Dr. Nell's team up at Big Sky. Amazing, beautiful. I hope it continues for so many years. It's a small, intimate group. They only have about 500 people that attend, which makes it really, really lovely. So if you ever get a chance to come up to Big Sky, I promise you won't regret it. It's amazing. And again, check those show notes for all the links that I leave for you in case there's other things that you want to look into. Reach out to me, leave a comment. The gremlins that are in AI need to see that you like, subscribe, and share. And that tells them that you enjoy this content and that it can help get pushed out to other people. So do that. Book a Zoom call with me. We can chat about your situation. I hope you are well. Thank you for listening all the way through. I appreciate it. Thank you for what you do, and bye for now.